How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA Previews. It is your boys here from FSI TK Nation 47 and John Cool 19. We have the Pebble Beach Pro-Am minus the Pro-Am this year. It's going to be a great week. Big shout out to Brooks Koepka for his win on the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Kind of got the door left open and he snuck his way in. My lineups didn't fare too bad. I broke even. How about you, John? How'd you do last week?
Yeah, same. I whiffed on not having any Koepka. I had Xander in my one and done, and he did not pull through on Sunday. But just like you, I had 5 out of 6 in my cash lineup, and that cashed just fine. So I will take it and move on to the next week. Certainly nothing to write home about on the profits, but I will take not losing any week on DraftKings. So that was good and fun to see Koepka back in the winner's circle. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what last week kind of brought us, was like this rejuvenation from a few guys that are former major winners after a few missed cuts and some bad years of form, just kind of made themselves back into the races. And you got a big shout out to Jordan Spieth as well for that 10 under Saturday. I mean, golf's more exciting when guys like Brooks and Jordan are playing well. I feel really happy about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, 5 of 6 in cash for me as well. If I didn't have a 7 under round from Carlos Ortiz on Sunday, I would have probably lost money last week. So pretty happy with him, and I'm gonna keep that one in the memory bank. But let's jump into Pebble Beach. This is a really fun course. Unfortunately, it fields a lot of shitty fields, and we have a questionable one after a few guys at the top. So let's get into some favorite plays for for our DFS picks, maybe some long shot bets for you. We'll get into that. Let's go with first up. We have Dustin Johnson at a staggering 12K. This is going to be plus 360. Just an incredible number to see for a golf tournament, for a favorite. For a guy that's considered a heavy favorite. He did win last week in Saudi International. Excuse me. 11th at the TOC. I watched that final round. He crushed it tee to green. Guy wouldn't miss a shot, doesn't miss a green last week, but he could not hit a putt to save his life. So I think there's a little bit of merit to fading him in cash just based on the salary, and maybe the putting form is not as
jet
strong.
Lag maybe.
Yeah. So, but I think in GPPs he's got to be in your player pool. He's Dustin Johnson. Yes. He's won this event before. He's made multiple top fives. So going to be on DJ. But tell me why I should be starting my cash lineups with Berger.
Well, I mean, the price is still steep, but Berger's certainly a cash eligible guy to be thinking about. 10,100 on DraftKings, 18-1 odds. He does have the decent course history here, 5th place in 2020. He was also 10th place back in 2015. So it's been, he's only played the 2 times and a pretty big gap in between there. And the other part is he missed the cut last week, which I think is going to scare a lot of people away. As we all know, when somebody misses a cut on the tour, everyone gets away from him for the next week. And that's usually a time to jump on him. We saw it with Scotty Scheffler. We've seen it with a lot of guys that Brooks Koepka, for example, that you can certainly get low ownership on very, very high quality tour players. I think Daniel Berger falls into that. I will absolutely play him in tournaments this week. Certainly looking at him as a cash option. Just kind of depends. 10-1 is usually higher than my starting guy in cash, but sometimes I do get up that high if I find some low 7K guys. The form's good too. The last 50 rounds for Daniel Berger, he's number 5 on POA putting. So the putting service is going to fit him very nicely. Last 36 rounds, 10th birdie or better, 14th tee to green. He's up there in par 4 scoring. So a lot to like on Daniel Berger this week. So I'll be playing quite a bit of him. I think he's a better play than Cantlay up top. He's not obviously Dustin Johnson, but somebody to put in a lot of tournaments if you can squeeze him in.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Berger train. I was very tilted on that Berger final couple holes heading into the weekend. Yeah. Made me psycho enter lobbies for the weekend, and it didn't work out either. I was heavy on the Berger tilt, but yeah, going right back to the well. Let's jump into some value plays. The favorites are the favorites. There was not many other than that. But we need to talk about value plays this week. We need to get some guys that people, because I feel like ownership's going to be really low across the board. But so we got to really nail these value plays to separate ourselves. Who do we have here from you?
Sure. So Matthew Naismith's my first go-to here, 8K, 100 to 1 odds. He was really good last week. Obviously, he was on fire in round one, but he's just a great iron player, and that's really what's going to put me on him a lot this week. His last 36 rounds, 8th on approach, 4th greens in regulation, and 22nd birdie or better. So a lot to like there. POA putting is not his best. That's kind of my one fear with Naismith is his lack of the ability to get it in the cup there once he's on the green, but he's going to give himself a ton of opportunities. He was 7th place last week, and then last year was his only try here at the AT&T. He finished 11th, so I like that a lot. And then just looking his last 8 events, 4 of those he finished top 20. So I am going to ride the decent form here and really decent course history for the one try. I'll play quite a bit of Matthew Naismith. Second guy, Kevin Streelman. This is a course horse here. Excellent course history. He's at almost 9K this week, so that's a little bit tough. He's typically a guy we get low 8K, even sometimes 7K. So 55 to 1 odds for him. He's the same great approach play as well. He has made 3 straight top 10s here at the AT&T, and he has played this event 15 times. Which is fantastic. I love the guys who've played this a bunch. Jason Day is another guy who's just played this course a million times. Number 2, he was runner-up here last year, and he's made 4 out of his last 5 cuts this season, so the form's decent. He is a good POA putter versus Matthew Naismith is not. 51st in this field over his last 50 rounds. But 11th on approach, 6th greens in regulation, 17th in opportunities gained. So I'm going to ride the stats here on Streelman as well as the course history. So I like both of them a lot. If you can, I think you could start with Streelman and cash potentially here if you're not going way up and be very, very balanced at that point. And Naismith's, I think, a great cash play as well.
Is Streelman the guy that usually plays with Larry Fitzgerald in the Pro-Am? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and Larry always plays really well. Maybe picks him up a little bit.
I think they've won that a couple of times.
No Pro-Am this year, and we're down to the 2 courses. So we'll see. That's going to change things quite a bit, but I still will hammer Streelman quite a bit.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to affect players that typically play this course a lot. But I'm with you, and I usually run course history, and I run experienced golfers when it comes to this old course. And first guy I like is Brendan Steele. He's been extremely hot the last couple of weeks with the 30th at the Waste Management last week, 21st at the Amex, and he had that top 5 in Sony a couple weeks back. He did finish this 16th in 2013. He hasn't played since 2014, so he's hasn't played this course in a long time. But I feel like the recent form is good enough. He's 10th on the approach, 11th tee to green, 13th ball striking. So the ball striking is in immaculate form. I think I'm going to ride the Brendan Steele hot train, as well as Scott Stallings. Stallings really played exceptional last week. He is his best putting surface is POA. He finished 36th last week, but he had a lot of DraftKings points. He scored a couple of eagles and birdie streaks. He did pretty well. And I think Stallings is a guy, he's missed the cut last year, but he had a 3rd in 2019, a 7th in 2018, and a 14th in 2017. 15th in ball striking, 26th in 15th on the approach, and 26th in ball striking in our models this week. So I really like Scott Stallings to pay off his 7,500 salary. So that'll do it for my value plays. Yeah, I like Stallings only on POA, and this is kind of like his course. But that'll do it for me on value plays. I was even thinking about betting Stallings, but I think I'm saving my money for this next slide here because of the potential. I'll just speak on it real quick. Chase Seifert at 300 to 1. You've Ted Potter Jr.'s won this tournament. I mean, there are just long shots that just love this course. So I'm going to take my roll the dice with 300 to 1 on Chase Seifert. Best putting surface, POA, 12th at the Amex a few weeks ago. He gained 3.5 on the approach. He did play this course last year, so he has a look at it. So I'm going to go with Seifert. He's made one of our one of our coaches a lot of money in a showdown round before at FSI. I think Pete's hit for like 10 grand one week off of Seifert. So we're gonna hope Seifert is our heavy hitter. How about you? Who's your sleeper of the week?
Sure, I'm not gonna go that far down in the betting odds, but really it's only a couple $100 more here on DraftKings. 7,100 Scott Piercy, 150 to 1 odds. I do like the course history here. He made his last 4 cuts at AT&T, and the last 3 of them he was top 20 each of those years. So I like that quite a bit. The stats are really good here too. His last 36 rounds, he's top 15 in approach, top 25 tee to green, top 20 on opportunities gained. I also was looking at proximity from 200 plus. There'll be quite a few long approach shots, and he is 14th in that metric. So quite a bit to like here, I think, on Piercy. That's a guy that I think I might end up playing in cash, even just with the course history. I think that he can fit in there nicely and help me get up to somebody like a Berger if I want to get up there. So I think he is a great place to maybe end your cash lineups here. I don't know if I'd go down to Seifert in cash, but certainly a great tournament play. I agree with you on Chase.
Nice. Yeah, this week's going to be a pretty spread on ownership. Maybe check in with us in our Discord channel later in the week for any tips on weather, if we get some wave advantage stacks, and then maybe guys that we find in research later on in the week. That's another thing that we do as well. If we get a guy that we get a good feel on, we'll mention it in our chat, and that's kind of how we do our research, and how we do our process. But that'll wrap things up for sleepers, and I think we'll move on to our one and done selection here. I'm going to roll the dice with Jordan Spieth. I think maybe last week was kind of like the eye-opening moment he needed to get back into the limelight, and maybe a win at a course he's won at before is how to get back to it. But I'm not 100% sold on him, but for now I'm going to go with Spieth. How about you?
Yeah, I think Spieth's a better play for like a one and done or something. The DraftKings price is really steep on him in my opinion, but I actually would say the same thing about Jason Day here, and he's going to be my one and done pick. But Jason Day, the course history, you just can't overlook it. He's got 9 top 10s, and he's played this event for 14 years and never missed a cut. So I am going to play Jason Day on one and done. I don't know if I'll have much of him on DraftKings. Again, the pricing is it's really gross on some of these guys here. Once you get past Cantlay and DJ, it just kind of falls off right there in that range. So we'll see. But I made up some good ground. That's back-to-back runner-ups I got in the Fantasy National Golf Club one and done. So I am moving up the rankings.
Yeah, you are.
Another one this week. I would love to get a win and not runner up, but honestly, if I had runners up for the next month or two, I would probably find myself in the top 100. So I will just keep taking the earnings as I can get them and go from there.
Absolutely. Yeah, just keep betting John's one and done.
They're getting bet them top 5.
Bet them top 5. Yeah. Well, they're always at the top. One of them's going to strike. So big congrats to you on that. And hopefully you can find yourself in the winner's circle and inside that top 100. But that'll wrap things up for us. And another incredible week ahead, and an incredible week last week with the Super Bowl following. So golf is hitting its peaks. Augusta is going to be coming in close. But for this week, that'll do it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Big things ahead for FSI. We have NASCAR coming in. It's Daytona 500 this Sunday. So, catch the FSI channel for all your updates on Speed Week. We have the Clash tomorrow. And then we have, the duels on Thursday, and, trucks and Xfinity. There's going to be plenty of content to go around. NHL, NBA, all kinds of stuff here at FSI. John, is there anything to add for this week at Pebble Beach?
I don't think so. I'm really excited to be able to watch some this week without it being the program, without it being 6+ hour rounds. I don't care how Larry Fitzgerald shoots. I don't want to see any of his shots. I want to see your Scott Stallings, your Kevin Streelman take shots. So I'm actually excited for the change. That I'm absolutely okay with eliminating that portion. And we'll see that might continue on as we go to there's a couple more pro-ams on the schedule, and hopefully they change too.
Yeah. Pebble Beach, it's a beautiful golf course, and we're going to get 3 rounds of it. So I'm really excited. But again, thank you as always, and have a good night.
All right, thanks.